and they work long hours for no pay. I'm going to apply these strengths to Pool to make a robot that will find and take shots that humans could only dream of. I'll also be using this robot for something that you might not expect. I'm going to use it to play Pool online physically, which raises some pretty interesting ethical questions.
It definitely doesn't seem like it's working.
This was kind of a random idea, but turned out to be really fun. This just might be the star of the whole show. Playing Pool takes skill, for now at least. It's also a game with many variants. I'm going to be focusing on 8-ball Pool. 2 players take turns trying to sink all their balls by striking a white cue ball with a stick. The gameplay boils down to 2 steps. Figure out what shot you want to take, and then hit the balls very precisely to execute it. I want the robot to do both of these things. Figuring out what shot to take, henceforth referred to as the big brain algorithm, is going to take some explaining, and I'll get to that in a minute. The idea behind the robot is a bit more straightforward. Say I'm trying to make this shot. If I had a robot in the tip of this cue, it could move the tip so that it hits in just the right way so that the ball goes in. Here's what we're going to have to build. A camera system to watch the game and figure out what's going on, a complicated algorithm to interpret this and figure out the best shot, and a Pool cue with a magic robotic tip that can take the shot for us. This is probably the most complex project that I've done. The robot cue is obviously going to have to move and rotate laterally, but Pool is not 2D. Where you hit the ball vertically matters a lot. Off-center hits put spin on the ball, which gives you control over where it goes. I want the robot to have control. That means moving and rotating vertically as well. Fitting a mechanism that can do all of these motions into the tip of a Pool cue is going to be very hard. It's going to get fat, but my goal is for it to at least remain a stick. I have an initial design, but I don't have a good feel for it. I need to hold it. I haven't really talked about my Glowforge, but it's really useful for making quick prototypes like this. I use it kind of like my plasma cutter, where I can very quickly make structures out of flat patterns, except for in this case, out of plastic and wood rather than metal. I'm glad I quickly prototyped this because there's no way this is gonna work. It's just too bulky and there's no way I'm gonna be able to get this stiff enough. Deep down, I knew that a Stuart platform was probably the right way to go here, but I've done everything I can to suppress that thought because I know it's gonna be very painful to make. The idea is that you arrange 6 telescoping rods in a very special arrangement. You can completely control how this platform moves around by extending and contracting these rods. I can stick a tiny one of these in the cue to move it wherever I want. It's very stiff, so it won't deflect when I take a shot, and it's also really compact. I wanted to avoid a Stuart platform because there's a ton of finicky little parts. Instead of telescopic rods, I